Welcome to this video on the Ethio-Eritrean War. We will explore the details of this major conflict. The Ethio-Eritrean War, a boundary dispute, broke out in 1998 between Ethiopia and Eritrea. It began when Eritrean forces launched a military assault on the disputed territory of Badme on May 6, 1998. Consequently, on the 13th of May 1998, the Ethiopian forces launched a counteroffensive against the Eritrean forces. The USA and Rwanda sought to mediate, preparing a peace plan that called for the immediate evacuation of invading Eritrean troops from the disputed regions. Unfortunately, the Eritrean government was not willing to accept the peace offer mediated by the USA and Rwanda. Instead, the government of President Isaias Afwerki called for the demilitarization of all disputed areas along the common border, to be overseen by a neutral monitoring force and direct talk. Following the Eritrean government's refusal to accept the US-Rwanda peace plan, Ethiopia decided to take its own measures. On February 22, 1999, Ethiopia launched a massive military offensive against Eritrea's forces, aimed at restoring Badme. This key Ethiopian counteroffensive in the war was known as Operation Sunset. The Ethiopian military assault was successful. Ethiopian troops managed to control most of the contested territories, including Badme and Zalambesa. On May 25, 2000, Ethiopia declared that the war was over. The casualties of the Ethio-Eritrean War were heavy. Tens of thousands of combatants were killed on both sides, and many more were wounded. The conflict formally ended with the Algiers Agreement. On June 18, 2000, Prime Minister Meles Zenawi and President Isaias Afwerki agreed to a comprehensive peace agreement and binding arbitration of their disputes. In July 2000, the UN Security Council adopted Resolution 1312, establishing a 25-kilometer-wide temporary security zone within Eritrea, patrolled by the United Nations Mission in Ethiopia and Eritrea, or UNMEE, with support from over 60 countries. Finally, on December 12, 2000, a formal peace agreement was signed by the two governments. On April 13, 2002, the Ethio-Eritrean Boundary Commission, established under the Algiers Agreement and in collaboration with the Permanent Court of Arbitration in The Hague, issued its final and binding verdict. The ruling awarded territory to both sides, but the disputed area of Badme was ultimately awarded to Eritrea. However, the signing of the Algiers Peace Agreement and the decision of the Ethio-Eritrean Boundary Commission failed to bring lasting peace. Despite pledging to accept the Commission's decision, Ethiopia requested further explanation, and the decision was not implemented. Consequently, Ethiopia and Eritrea remained in a, quote, state of no peace, no war situation for over a decade. Relations between the two countries started to improve after Dr. Abiy Ahmed came to power as Prime Minister of Ethiopia.